what I'm working on now is putting this 1/2-inch OSB, you can see laying down there, as basically a base to hold my bikes up, just to kind of prevent damage. If anything leaks from the bikes, it'll soak up oil, coolant, whatever happens to be dripping. If that happens, also just creates a little more hard, sturdy surface other than this padded vinyl that I've got in the van. So what I'm working on right now is just cutting out a little cardboard template so that it fits around my wheel wells. Looks like I can make those a little tighter. Sorry, didn't do too great of a job there. But anyway, width looks good. I'll use that later on as kind of a template on the OSB when I cut that out, and it should all fit up nicely. I'm gonna use 2 4x8 sheets. I'm gonna have it line up here, have it go all the way 8 feet back there. That'll easily cover the length of the bikes. And I'm gonna have it contour all the way around everything that it needs to, and just have a straight cut off edge right there. Alright, so what I did here is I ripped this board down to 34 inches. So that'll act as one of the halves. I'll probably start with the left side here. So it'll create that seam down here. And then what I'll have to do is map out all the profile cuts for the wheel well. And then for this tie down point here. Start point there, I've got about 13 inches up to the wheel well right here. And we'll just go 49 inches. Right there, give it a little bit of room. Alright, so my first mark here is at 13 inches. Also gonna go up to the edge of the wheel well about here. Make another mark at 13 inches. Alright, so now another mark from the end of the board all the way to 49 inches. Again, up here, another mark at 49 inches. All right, now that I got my marks, I'm gonna just draw some straight lines between all my points. It's about 7 1/4 inch. I'll just take it to 7 1/2, just to have a little bit of wiggle room. So I'll come to my marking here, and at 7 1/2 inches, I'll make another tick mark. Then we'll go down to this side, do the same thing here, at 7 1/2. Now, come here, line this up on each end. So since I cut a little too much the first go around to fit around the wheel well, I just taped down this extra piece of cardboard here, and then it basically came across diagonally so I could just have a little more material to cut out there. So what I'm gonna do now is line up these edges. So take this, line it up with that line, get it as square as possible, and then have this edge here line up. So now I can mark a curve around there. I also have to do the same thing here, so I'm just gonna flip that, go around there. Wow, that is awful. It's so squiggly. Oh well. My foot's still not in very great shape, so it's pretty weak right now. Come on, fit. Looks pretty good. Got a nice, pretty clean gaps right there. All along here. Looks good to me. It'll work. This is kind of just a temporary thing. I just want something to test it out for now. I'm going to be going on like a 4-day trip pretty soon here, so it ain't the best, but it'll definitely work. Now we just got to do the other half, which I'm going to go ahead and skip You already saw one side. It's going to be the exact same thing. It'll have a slightly different cutout for that other tie down point there, but wheel well, everything will be the same. So we got both boards to fit in. It's looking really good. It's a super snug fit, nice sealed up line in between here. Got a cutout here around all the steps. Gonna go ahead and roll the YZ in, and then we're gonna basically make two sections, double wide 2x4s for the wheels to slip into so that they can't hop around and move side to side, and then some sort of wheel chalk up front.
Janky foot, this would not be an issue.
So we're gonna have 8 inches from the inner edge to the inner edge. Gonna have it go full length all the way down in front here. And in terms of spacing away from the wall, we set it 19 inches. This is gonna depend on what bike you're putting in, what van you have, but basically when the bike's standing up vertically, we have just a couple inches of space between here and where my wall is gonna end up being. Again, this is kind of a slightly temporary setup, but it'll get me by for a little while and give me a little more time to think about what I want to do next. It ended up getting a little dark as we finished building the boards here and nailing down the 2x4s, so I didn't have too much video from putting the 2x4s in. It's pretty self-explanatory. Basically make your marks, clamp them down, screw in from the underside up, well, flip it over and then screw down, but then the board you flip right side up. So not a whole lot of explanation needed there. If you do have any questions about any of that process, feel free to let me know. I'll do my best to answer. The main problem I have is these boards aren't attached to the floor, so I can't put tie down points on the board or else the bikes and everything are just floating. So right now I don't quite have enough tie down points to even put 2 bikes in there. I could, but it would be really kind of sketchy. So on this left side slot, the driver's side slot right here is perfect. I put my 450 up there, and then one video, I didn't really make a process build video in here, but it's just some aluminum angle that I ended up drilling some holes in and then bolting to the side of the vehicle here. So it's 5 feet long. Makes it nice and rigid since we're kind of dealing with this floppy siding here. So just tie a hook in there, wheel the bike up, and then throw the other end of the hook around the handlebars. And then I kind of had this goofy system where I rigged a strap from that hook to that hook, and then I hooked another hook in the middle of there and went up to the handlebars. So it worked, but it definitely wasn't the most convenient thing ever. But in terms of the board's fitment, I think it's great. It's really nice having that extra protection against the vinyl. I've got a lot more testing to do, a lot more thinking to do. Still need to put up a bunch of insulation and figure out these tie down points. I'm not sure if I'll end up keeping these boards in here or not. If anyone's got any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. This is my first time doing something like this, and although I'm capable to build almost anything, it's coming up with the idea that's the difficult part. And I'm one to want to get things right the first time. I really like convenience, so something where you can roll the bike up, throw 2 straps around the handlebars, and you're done. I like it universal, nice, quick, and easy, and clean. Oh, one awesome mod, well, not quite a mod, but in addition to the van, that you may have noticed while I was wheeling the YZ up the other night while we were building the floors there, is this 3-part folding ramp from Tractor Supply. It was about $150, and it's pretty awesome. You can fold it up like this, so you can just slide it in there. Fits right in between the bikes here. Normally I put it there if I only have one other bike, but it's got these nice hooks too, so you can strap it up to your trailer hitch. But it's a little big and bulky, but it's pretty cheap, and it makes it great for wheeling a bike up. I don't even push the bike up, I end up just riding it up into the back of the van, and luckily it's high enough where my head doesn't hit, so super convenient. You got a lot of width here, so you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to stay on your line. So that's a super easy thing to do, relatively cheap, and definitely makes it a whole lot easier to get things in and out of the vehicle. That's all I've got for you guys for this build series. I hope you stop in and check out the next one. That's all I got for you guys. Have a nice night.